it's Jennifer McGuire for Hero Arts. Today I wanted to show you a fun technique called concentric stamping. It's where you have stamped images coming out in a circle from the center focal point. So there's lots you can do with this, and it's great for small images. So I'm starting with a piece of white cardstock that's 4 inches wide and 5.5 inches tall. Now I want to put a line right down the center, so I'm putting a mark at 2 inches, and then I'll draw a line along that. Next, I want to do a line that's 2 inches from the top of the card. So I'm putting a mark at 2 inches and then draw a line along that. This results in 2 squares at the top of the note card that are 2 inches by 2 inches. And this will really help in creating the diagonal lines. So now that I have the perfect squares at the top, I can do a diagonal right across it, and that'll divide the card up into equal pieces. So I'm going from the top corner to the center, and then the top corner to the center, and drawing a line again. So now the card is divided up into equal areas, which really will help with lining up the stamping that we do. So I've got a stamp set from Hero Arts, this cling leaf stamp set. I just love this set. You could use any smaller images for this technique, and the leaves work really well. So I'm starting with the smaller leaf, and I'm going to use 4 Hero Arts shadow inks today. 2 of them are newer, and I'm going to start with the 2 new inks actually. The first one I'm going to use is called Just Rust. It's a great rust color ink. Now I'm going to ink up the stamp, and I'm going to follow the lines that go up and down and side to side on here, and lining up the tip of my leaf at the center. And then the top of the leaf lines up with the line. Now it's not perfect. You don't have to worry about it being perfect, but the lines really do help with lining this up. You could even be more perfect with your lining up if you use clear stamps, but I just love these cling stamps. And you'll see all of those meet at the center and then follow the lines. So now I'm going to use the next new Hero Arts shadow ink. It's called Pumpkin Pie. It's a great kind of yellowish orange color, great for the fall season. And I have another leaf stamp from that same set, and I'm going to follow the diagonal lines this time. So I'm just trying to line it up as much as I can on those diagonal lines and stamp in between the leaves that I've already done. Now these are Hero Arts shadow inks, which start out dark and kind of splotchy, but as they dry they even out and become very smooth, and it's really a great, nice even color. So after I've stamped these, I'm going to move on to one of the older colors of Hero Arts shadow inks. It's the soft leaf. This is a great the soft olive. It's a great kind of green color here, perfect for the fall season. I'm using the rounded leaf for this one, and this time I'm using the stamped images I already did and the pencil lines as a guide. So as you get farther out, that really helps to look at your stamped images too, and just kind of use them as a guide. So I'm going to fill this area in. Now I'm going in with soft brown. It's one of the original shadow ink colors. And I'm going to stamp some more leaves. And so I'm just filling in the areas. And then finally I'm going to use one of the bigger leaves on the bottom. I'm going to just do this straight up and down. Then I'm going to go back with that rust color, kind of create a triangle, visual triangle with the rust color between the center and the bottom corners. And I'll stamp the leaves in the bottom corner here. You'll see this isn't completely symmetrical, but that's okay. It kind of goes along with the feel of this. So you could do this concentric stamping with any kind of small images. I wanted to have a rust-colored cardstock along the sides of this piece. However, I didn't have the right color cardstock, so I'm going to create my own. I just cut some white cardstock strips, and I'm rubbing the same Just Rust color along them to color them. This way it will perfectly match the stamping that I did on the card. I also need to go ahead and erase the pencil lines. I almost forgot to do that. It really makes a big difference to have those pencil lines though. I also wanted to create a window at the center of this card, so I have a circle die. This one's from Sizzix. You could use any circle die for this. And I've got some pieces of tape here just to hold it in place as I run this through my die cut machine. This will give me a nice window at the center of my stamping. Now after I have my window here, I wanted to have the greeting kind of sit inside the window on the note card. However, I have a wood stamp that I want to use, so it's kind of hard to see through it to center up how the image sits in there. So I'm going to show you a fun little trick. First of all, I wanted the background to be that same Just Rust color, so I've got a piece of white cardstock here. I'm just going to completely color it with the ink pad, and once this dries, I'm going to go ahead and do my stamping on top of it. Even though this is a dye ink, if any of the powder gets on it while it's still wet, it might just stick there and mess up my image. So I wanted to make sure it was dry first. So now I'm stamping this image, the Grateful for You, sorry it doesn't have a label, it's a prototype, with Versamark ink, and then I'm putting on some white embossing powder, and then I'll heat set this. And this will give me a nice vibrant white stamped image on top of the ink, and it'll perfectly match the card that we've already created. I really think using a white embossed image really makes this card stand out as opposed to a black, which would just distract from the fun stamping that we did. So now I have this piece, I just trimmed it down, and I'm going to hold it right behind the window lined up. So I'm just holding it there. There's glue on the back of it. Then I'm going to lay this card down, or this stamp piece down onto my card exactly where I want it to be so I can transfer that greeting to it. And then I'll remove my window here. And so that Grateful for You is positioned exactly where we want it. Now I'm going to use some foam adhesive here to glue this window panel on top of it, allowing the greeting to show through. Now I wanted to add a little something else to this, so I grabbed my Wink of Stella glitter pen. I've been using this a lot lately because it adds a nice little shimmer to your card. You could also trace over your stamping with any kind of glitter pen. This just adds a little bit of subtle shimmer and really makes this card kind of grab the attention. So there we have it, a concentric stamping technique that allows you to create some stamped images coming out from the focal point of a card. If you have any questions, please visit heroarts.com and we'll see you next time.